Hi, this is Matt with State of Flux here with a review for Dune 2, or as I've been calling it, Tune. Dune Part 2 is a vast improvement over 2021's Dune, a film that was nominated for Best Picture, and I didn't quite get it. I thought it was a fine movie, a good experience. I thought it deserved a lot of its sort of technical accolades, but even as it was, the film suffered from three things. Number one is Denis Villeneuve is a very good filmmaker. He knew that he had to make the film visually interesting, and he kind of did what he could, but when you're working with an entirely desert landscape with barren kind of architecture, you're kind of limited with what you got. So it was just kind of this beige, fugly movie, in my opinion. It had a lot of performances that were like noticeably flat, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but that when you had like Jason Momoa of all people bring his on-screen charisma and really elevate, it made it noticeable that everybody else was just kind of speaking in monotones. And so that just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And the third thing is like, I'm just not the hugest Dune fan. We're gonna come back to that in a tiny bit. This, as I say, is a like vast improvement over that first movie in two key ways. Number one, he took the criticism that I had of the film, which was that the first one just had this kind of beige blandness, like he made it as interesting as he could, but he didn't elevate it above what it is, and gave a film that is incredibly elevated visually. This is one of the most stunning looking movies I've seen in quite some time. I love the opening section of the film that is very orangey. Orange is my favorite color, so doing it at the sunset and or sunrise, and there's multiple scenes like that throughout the film, gave it a just different feel to it, so that when you see the more beige desert landscape a little bit later, it's something different. And setting it at different times of the day over the thing gave it a just more visually distinct look. And then there's the black and white portion of the film that is just gorgeous. And just generally speaking, I think there was a lot more emphasis put on the cinematography, and capturing a lot of that in camera was noticeable, and something that I really quite loved. I thought that visually this movie was like wow-inducing. This is genuinely the definition of awesome. The second thing that it improved is that most of the acting comes off more even in this film. You don't have people who are being a little more vibrant and showy, and people that are more monotone. Every person's acting was a little more consistent, so that you could really see what the actors and performers were doing throughout both this film and the previous one. That criticism that I had wasn't so much a knock, it was just that the performances that were given were uneven. I like what Jason Momoa did, but it felt like he was in a different movie, yet his was the part that my brain kept latching onto because I liked what he was doing. And I was less invested with some of the other performances. This time, being much more immersed without any distracting performances, I was able to really appreciate the Timothée Chalamet of it all. I think he gives a completely nuanced and textured performance that is completely believable in how he gets to that ending that this film gives him, in ways that I was concerned, having read the book, that maybe it wouldn't be believable transition into that trajectory for the character. It comes off completely believable. He gives a great performance, but he is not to be outdone. He is, as great as he is, it's Rebecca Ferguson and absolutely Zendaya who steal the show. Zendaya gives, I think, the performance of her career. This is like the gold standard of what I've seen her capable of. The final shot of the movie rests upon her, and hot damn if it isn't something that she takes absolute command and ownership of. She is that good. So I really, really appreciated the performance work from everybody across the board. I do think that some people are going a little overboard with the praise on Austin Butler. He gives a good performance, but that dude's a very capable actor. And I think they're just comparing it to what they last saw him in, which was Elvis. And compared to Elvis, this is a completely different, but he's basically playing just Ruthless Killer Guy as Ruthless Killer Guy. This is not something that is absolutely groundbreaking. Even for him, he gives kind of a not dissimilar performance as Tex in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, or hell, even the bully character in Yoga Hosers. It's a good performance, but it's something that I've kind of seen him given before, just with more minimal dialogue. Good performance. I think we're overblowing it a little bit. I've seen a lot of people comparing this performance to like Heath Ledger's Joker, and I'm like, come on, guys, let's reel it in. But that's just an aside. The only thing that I didn't really rise above is the kind of Dune of it all, which is weird because like Dune is something that I should really like. I like when we see something that deconstructs a genre, and like Game of Thrones is written in response to tales of old not dissimilar from fantasy stories such as Lord of the Rings. It is a deconstruction of and reinterpretation of Lord of the Rings done in a more grounded, realistic sense. This feels like it's in response to Star Wars, which of course Star Wars was kind of written as a response to this in a strange sense, in that Star Wars, Lucas, it very much feels like he finished reading the book and was like, I bet you I can make this fun. And kind of did his own thing by applying the kind of monomyth of the hero with 1,000 faces to Dune, and you got something that was much more for the general populace. Dune was itself a kind of thwarting of those traditions, and the aspects of this film that do work best is seeing how ideology and theology can be weaponized for use of war and personal being and revenge and gain and all this kind of stuff. I think that stuff does play really well, and this is something that I should be very much interested and invested in because I like that. Yet it's just written in a way, both book and films, that just isn't as appealing to me, and that's a me thing. However, I do recognize the qualities here, and when this movie gets in the conversation for Best Picture at the end of the year, it's deserved, far more so than that first movie, which I did not think deserved any nominations for Best Picture. This deserves nominations outside of the technical stuff, though I do think cinematography, as of now, this is the best looking film of 2024. I think Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson all give outstanding performances, in some cases career best performances, and I would like to see them in the conversation at year's end. Denis has been robbed of Oscar nominations in the past. He needs to be nominated for this one. He just went above and beyond. And as of now, I do think this is one of the best movies of the year. And that's one that I think is a deserved nomination. So if it gets nominated for Best Picture this time around, I will not be disappointed. At least as of now. We'll see what happens as the year progresses. But as of now, I give this a very strong 3.5 stars out of 4. What did you think of Dune 2? Sorry I'm so late to the Dune battlefield here, and feel free to slay me for my somewhat polarizing thoughts on the first half of this trilogy of films. I think now there's a plan of 6, and then there's some TV show as well. But anyway, let me know what you think of all this. These thoughts in the comments down below. Also, check out a poll that I put up. I'm going to be doing a top 10 movies of the year list, but I'm trying to figure out which decade to start with. So look for my poll on the community tab on my YouTube channel's page. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.